In the spirit of reconciliation, We Are Theatre and Theatrically Loud acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today.
Hey theatre folk, and welcome back to We Are Theatre. Today we are still in Gander, kicking it with the cast of Come From Away Australia. Today, Kellie Rode joins us. Hello, Kellie. How you going?
Hi, Josh. I'm good, thank you.
What a show, guys. Honestly, Come From Away, I've literally spent an hour watching little clips on YouTube, and it is just one of the happiest shows that could ever be on stage. And you get to be a part of it, Kellie. So what's your favourite thing about the Come From Away story?
There are so many things that are my favourites. One is being able to play a real person. I've never done that before. And thanks to opening in Melbourne last year, we actually got to meet those real people. And when I say last year, I actually mean 2019. I'm still not up to the 2021 thing. So 2019. And so meeting Bonnie Harris in person, and she was everything that the script said she was. So when we met all these people, the script is so accurate and so well written that we actually felt like we already knew them. And they were exactly as they were on the page, warm-hearted, generous, kind, very welcoming, and they brought with them a sense of their own community. So that's huge because it's so unique to the show. And it's such a unique piece of theatre. I don't think I've done a piece of theatre that, even in its format, it's quite revolutionary, I think, for musical theatre. It can be considered a play with music. There's obviously minimal sets and set changes. It's us, chairs, and a few props to decipher which character we're playing next. So for an actor, it's heaven.
Yeah. Nice and easy and fluent. So what was it like actually getting to have that conversation with Bonnie and be like, oh my God, you're actually literally the character that I'm playing, and kind of process that?
Yeah, it was kind of mind-blowing, to be honest. And I was quite nervous about meeting her, but that nervousness just dissipated in the first 5 seconds because of her lovely warmth and generosity. And before we even started rehearsals, she sent me a Christmas card to welcome me to the Come From Away family all over the world. So, having that beautiful gift and card coming all the way to me from Newfoundland before we'd even started rehearsals, it gave me an idea of what we were in for. And that's precisely what they're like, very generous. And so it was also really, really helpful because I could ask her very specific questions about, what were you feeling when this happened? And, how many phone calls did you have to make to try to get the animals off the planes? And all of those logistical things that were very just useful, so useful. I didn't have to use my imagination. The information was right there.
Yeah, it wasn't like a literally creation of a character. It was like, cool, this is background info of how I should be reacting to this because this is how you literally reacted to it.
Absolutely.
Man, that's something you literally don't get in musical theatre because most of the musical theatre pieces are either based on historical events where everybody is long gone or fictional. So
That's right. And the director was so generous in saying that we don't want you to mimic these people because, we haven't been cast because we look and sound and walk exactly like them, but rather we share the same spirit or the same essence or the same kind of energy as that person. Yeah. And then obviously we're telling their story. And so there's a responsibility with that. However, they would like us to do, our interpretation of that story rather than mimicry, which was a relief as well, that it was still a creative experience, but based on all of this fact.
Yeah, and taking this creative experience on stage, what are you most looking forward to in the coming weeks to getting back on stage and having an audience back to be able to perform this show once again?
This show is so special in that we really get a tangible energy from the audience when they watch. We feel the transformation that they've gone through in coming in, sitting down. They don't necessarily know what they're watching unless they've seen the show before. And then at the end, to feel them with us, and obviously elated and moved and interested, fascinated, all of those things. And ultimately, a lot of people are very devoted to this show because it is so moving, and mostly it inspires such a level of hope that and that never gets old. Everybody loves feeling hopeful about the goodness of humans and the kindness of humans in, out of probably the worst of humanity, the most wonderful examples of beautiful humanity were shown. So it's just being able to tell the story to a whole bunch of new people. I feel like this is such an important story, not only the way that it's told. I thoroughly love what this is doing for musical theatre and taking it to a new style potentially, but also sharing this story of these incredible people who deserve their story to be told, and inspiring hope, and perhaps for other people to follow suit and think of themselves last, other people first in the community, even in the worst of situations, which is obviously really relevant in our times at the moment.
Exactly. And I think that's why it's such a great show to be having open right now, just for a bit of perspective, I guess. Like, yep, we transport you into another continent, another country, but the message is universal. Like, just love one another. Like, simple.
Yeah, absolutely. That we're all human, and it doesn't matter what color skin we have, what language we speak, where we come from. We are all the same. And when someone is in need, our instinct is actually to help them, our human instinct. And it's for these people, it wasn't even there was no question. They just did it automatically. In fact, when the writers, Irene and David, when they were speaking to the community about they're interested in making a musical about this, and they interviewed thousands of people, and they didn't understand what the story was. They said, okay, so you're going to write a musical about making sandwiches. That's all we did. They didn't understand the importance. It's like, well, of course we did that. Wouldn't everybody? And of course, well, no, not necessarily, but obviously in this situation, they did, and it's such an important story to share.
Yeah, and you get to share this story with some wonderful cast members. You've got some new faces joining you for this portion of the run. So what's it been like getting back into the room with these guys, putting the show back together, and obviously welcoming the new members of the family into the crew?
Yeah, well, it's been exactly that, as you said, welcoming them to a family, and they have just slipped right in seamlessly and beautifully, and it's a joy to welcome them. It's a gift for us as well to have an influx of new energy and new ideas and new ways of saying things, and so that affects us, of course, and so that's a gift, and we'd be foolish to consider it anything other than that, and it's been a joy. The rehearsals have been nothing but joyous. And I don't think I've had some very, very joyous, wonderful rehearsal periods, but it filters from the top down, from our associate director and our associate choreographer from America who are here. They are very clearly aware of the task at hand. And so there is an element of pressure there, but no one feels the pressure because they are so joyous and supportive and jovial. That's actually genuinely jovial. It's such a hoot, and all the new cast are absolutely sensational, and we are just relishing in that new energy as much as we truly adored our original cast members, and they will always be a part of the family. The family just got bigger.
100%, yeah. Getting to kind of the show and the heart of it, what's the biggest thing you've learnt out of this experience of being a part of the Come From Away family?
I think one of the most wonderful things that I've learned and I'm enjoying is that I am the least important person on the stage in that moment. It is all about someone else. It is all about something else. It is all about the story. So that fantastic reminder to take yourself and your ego, your sense of self, out of the equation, and just honor the story, honor the music. This is a true ensemble piece. And I feel like there's 12 of us on stage. Someone throws up a ball, the other person has to grab it. The other person throws up the ball and you have to grab it. So the show really works, metaphorically, like we're all juggling the same ball and we're all there for each other. So I've never worked on a show that has such an ensemble requirement. Yeah. And as a result of that, it's so delightful in that you set yourself aside and just service the piece. And I think that's my goodness, one of the richest things I've learned on this show.
Yeah, that's awesome. Being an artist during this time, obviously you guys have had nearly a year away from this show through lockdowns and that type of thing. What does it mean to you to be one of the first 4 shows to reopen here in Australia, and I think 5 or 6 in the world? What does that mean to you to be a part of that?
I'm just filled with gratitude, to be honest. I know that, you never know what you've got until it's gone. And, I think it's so important that we get this right, that we all follow the very clear and fantastic COVID plan that we have. And we obviously, to the best of our ability, just keep marching forward, and fingers crossed everything continues and it's all going to be okay. But it's really, really important for the arts to be waving this flag and to encourage and ensure people that it's safe to come back out because of, the fantastic systems that are in place from the theatre, from Mariners Theatres and our producers. And we need theatre. We need that balance in our lives. We need the arts. I was a little dismayed by, perhaps the lack of support for the arts throughout lockdown within Australia. Having said that, we were very lucky to be a part of a team and to continue back. But I just think that without the arts, what balance do we have as humans? And it is so important. What do people do when we go home? We read a book that's been written by an author. We turn the television on that's been, with actors, fabulous actors. We listen to music that a musician has, all of these things in our lives that give us color, that give us balance, that give us, relaxation or entertainment. That's the arts. It's a part of our every single day, not necessarily having to, go to a musical, but now that we can, I'm so proud. Yeah, so proud, and happily waving that flag. Yeah.
And guys, that's a brilliant thing that Kellie brought up, is the COVID plans. Like, I've been in a theatre during COVID times. The way the theatres handle this situation, fantastic. Feel safe because they have your back. They're not thinking about themselves. They're thinking about you and how you're going to handle the situation, and 100%, just do it.
Yeah.
For people on the edge of the seat wanting to buy tickets, what's your encouraging words for them to just be like, just do it? Like, what is that thing that you think will get them over the edge?
I think it's a life-changing musical for a start. And I think if you want something to help you through transitioning from lockdown into real life, or if you're dealing with lockdown wherever you are, and it's such an inspiring piece that it's actually it's beneficial for your mental health for a start, to actually come out, see something wonderful, but also see an example of what the best of humanity can be, and something that's very hopeful, very inspirational. But it's also the producers and all of our team wouldn't be putting anything on if there was any risk of, they're doing things the right way. So masks will be worn. There are sanitizing stations everywhere. There are staggered entries. There are one entry point, one exit point. Luckily, we don't have an interval because it's such a fabulous, short, sharp show. So there's no mingling at interval. To the best of their possible, COVID plans is going ahead, and they've been really, really smart in having a health advisor throughout the entire process. So they're going about it the best way that they possibly can, and everybody is confident that the proper procedures are in place to go. And it's lovely to come away for an hour and a half and just leave the world and go to a beautiful place, and then go home hopefully transformed.
Exactly. As an actor, getting to play kind of multiple roles in the one show, but as like a main character, what is that experience like, getting to swap between the two quickly?
Yeah, it's really intense. Yeah. There's no time in this show to think about anything. So it's all body memory and go. Yeah. It's not a cerebral exercise. It's very much, there is no time. We just move so quickly from one to the other. But it is the ultimate satisfaction for an actor to be able to play different roles and do different things in one show. I mean, not only, yes, it shows that you can do lots of different things, but it's just really satisfying because, I mean, we are never bored, let me tell you. For an hour and a half, we do not stop. As soon as the drum starts from the beginning, that's it. You know, it's basically, we're almost taking our bow. It goes so fast. But it's again, just comes back to that lovely sense of ensemble and all of us playing different roles. And we feel like we're a part of a community, which is the entire point. We were supposed to, you know, complement that idea of there being a community over there that helped 7,000 people, 7,000 stranded passengers. And the pace is also supposed to reflect exactly what they lived for 5 days. They did not stop. There was always something to do. There was 7,000 people that needed help, that needed food, that needed clothing. And so it actually emulates exactly what happened for them. So straight away, without even thinking, the pace of the show, the amount of characters that we play, emulates the community and what happened for them in those crazy 5 days.
Yeah, that's a perfect representation. And if you guys want to see this craziness on stage, head to comefromaway.com.au right now. There's a yellow button in the top right corner that says tickets. Click on that. Melbourne is running right now. So make sure you guys are getting your tickets for the limited run in Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney. Hopefully everything calms down around the world and we are back to theatre in full swing. To wrap us up, Kellie, what is your favourite thing about, favourite moment in this show?
Oh, I have so many. I don't want to give anything away, but there is one moment where a Newfoundland bus driver was taking Africans to a certain house that they needed to go and stay at. And the Africans didn't understand what the Newfoundlanders were saying, because there were so many people, thousands of people from all over the world speaking different languages. And in order to translate, he used a Bible that one of them were holding to actually read a phrase in that said, "Be anxious for nothing." Yeah. And then they both understood that it was safe. You are safe. We are here to look after you. And that's just so connecting of cultures, connecting of people, a reminder that we are all human. We are here to look after you. We don't understand what we are saying, but we can still communicate as humans that we are here to look after you. And that's just one of the many breathtaking moments in the show.
There we go. So guys, if you haven't packed your bags and headed to Gander already, please do it. You guys will not want to miss this show. It will be the biggest regret you have in 2021. I'm calling it right now in January. If you don't do it, do it. Thank you, Kellie, for coming and joining us.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
No worries, guys. You will catch me next week when we are back here in Gander once again with another fabulous cast member from Come From Away Australia. Make sure you guys grab your tickets and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.